Hey guys, so this is a bit of an important video. It's just a update on the upcoming patch 7.1.5, which should, in due time, also hold the release for the Nighthold raid. So now, there's not a lot of time left for release date, like it's coming out in January from what Blizzard has said. So it's just right around the corner, really. So in this video, I just kind of wanted to focus on a bit of the rogue set bonuses and how to gear, because a lot of the gear is also getting changed. For example, secondaries are going to be worth not quite as much as they are right now. So I guess, so I just wanted to take a bit of time and talk about all of these changes and how to best prepare for that. So we'll do one spec at a time and see how we go. So we'll start with Assassination and just work our way down the list. So currently, Assassination is probably one of the stronger rogue specs, and a lot of people, from what I'm seeing, a lot of rogues are going Assassination with a poison build as opposed to a bleed build. And so the way that works as far as gearing goes is you go for a soft cap on crit, so you aim for 44% crit. And then once you've reached that value, you try and put the rest into mastery. So what this does is, with a deeper stratagem build, this allows you to get roughly 50% of the time for your mutilate to crit because of talents in the weapon. And with that, every time this spec crits, it gets extra combo points. So roughly half of the time you will be building up 5 combo points with 2 uses of mutilate. Roughly, that's how the math works out, something like that. So the main point is there's crit soft cap. Crit is still valuable after that, and then you build up mastery to get agonizing poison stacks. So with the set bonus, this gives mutilate a bleed dot, so that really doesn't affect your rotation, and it makes envenom deal 10% damage per bleed. So this values this values your mastery even more. So you want to be getting those high combo point envenoms out, and you want to be getting more of them. So this means that the crit soft cap is even more important, so you can get those 5 and 6 combo point build up quicker, and then you can envenom them, and the envenoms will do even more damage if you have higher mastery. Yeah, so as far as the set bonuses go, they won't really change the gearing. They'll just help Assassination do what it already does even better. So the only thing I can see changing is the talent row where you get an extra bleed from your stuns. One of your stuns gives you an extra bleed. That might increase your personal damage, but I don't see that changing from the talent where you get personal damage, get more damage for the raid, because I think it's like 10% raid-wide damage when a mob is stunned. Anyway, yeah, so not many changes here. So let's move on. So next up we'll be talking about Outlaw Rogue. As always, agility is your highest stat, and then after that, versatility is your highest secondary stat, and then crit, mastery, and haste are fairly even, with crit edging out just a little bit. So with the set bonuses, they don't really have much of an interaction. Saber Slash will give you roughly a 20% gain to mastery, and that it'll increase your, just for that one ability, it'll give you a 20% increase to main gash, which is your mastery essentially. And then Run Through has a chance to make your next Saber Slash cost no energy. So with the 4 set bonus, we'll talk about that first. It's going to devalue haste a little bit because it will give you more energy, which contributes, which is a contributor to haste. But the 2 set is actually really interesting, just because like currently, because I play sub as main spec, my mastery in Outlaw is sitting at like high 70s, and I think with Nighthold gear, if I can push that to 80, for example, it'll really increase the value for haste. So I think that'll be something to really watch out for. The reason I'm bringing that up is because if you can reach 100% mastery, that means every attack will also trigger a main gash, so that includes auto attacks as well. And if you can get more main gashes out, you can also get more attacks out with haste. So I think that'll be a interesting little interaction to watch out for. Like, it'll be a lot of passive damage, but I think it'll be really interesting. And I think with that said, it should really value slice and dice a bit more as well. So I think with all of these factors, Outlaw may be a dark horse just sitting underneath it all. So yeah, let's just watch out for that. So, as most of you may know, sub is my main spec, and I think as far as gear goes, it will be affected the most. So currently, depending on how much of each I have, mastery and versatility are vying for top spots for secondary stats, and I think that probably won't change so much as that there'll probably be more changes to these talent choices as opposed to gear with sub. So the set bonuses are Nightblade lasts 2 additional seconds per combo point spend. So if you have DS, that will be another 12 seconds, or 10 seconds without it, assuming max combo points, so 5 or 6. And then Shadow Strike has a 100% chance to generate an additional combo point when you have Nightblade up. So that's really good interaction, because you should always have Nightblade up. There isn't a reason you shouldn't, unless the ad's gonna die like in less time than the Nightblade can be up for. But because it's linear damage, you can put a smaller combo point Nightblade up, and that's not an issue. So gearing, I don't think will change that much, because again, this is affecting your finishers. So mastery will still be potent, and it'll also mean you can get more eviscerates out because Nightblade will be lasting longer. So again, that snowballs back to good interaction, and I think versatility will still be a good stat. Haste doesn't really affect us as much, and crit again is similar to haste. It doesn't really have that interaction with anything. So with that said, I think the change in actual talents will be that with the nerf to DS, I think anticipation and alacrity might take higher priority, just because so the build currently is Weapon Master, Subterfuge, DS, Cheat Death, Pre-Med, Master of Shadows. So the main ones are DS, so the level 45 row, and the level 90 row. So currently DS and Pre-Med work well together because you can Pre-Med, and that gives you roughly 2 Shadow Strikes and then a finisher, and then 2 Shadow Strikes and a finisher. So that's generally the rotation. It works out to be that because we get extra passive combo points from talents that are built into the spec. So the pre-med allows us to have the 2 Shadow Strikes, but with the set bonus, pre-med won't be. If you take pre-med, you'll have a lot of extra combo points that get wasted, so Anticipation might need to take priority over DS, so you have fewer wasted combo points. And then the thing is, so I think definitely Anticipation will be stronger over DS, but I'm not really sure whether pre-med will be still just as good, or if Alacrity might take priority, just because Alacrity does affect auto attack damage, although we don't really do much of that, but it can also mean more combo points passively from talents. So I think the level 90 row, it will be quite up in the air with that. But other than that, gearing should be similar to what it is now. Anyway, so before I finish this video, I'd just like to clarify that generally speaking, agility is always your highest stat. So if you can get more agility, that's generally a good thing. And with the stat changes to secondaries, it'll mean that like the soft caps and such, the few specs that have those you'll still want to achieve, but then after you've gotten those, generally speaking, higher item will be worth more, just because how much agility is worth more than your secondaries as a rogue, compared to some other classes like, say, Marksmanship Hunter, where mastery is worth more than agility, so a secondary is worth more than the primary stat. So rogue doesn't really have that. Agility is always worth more. And then after that, the top 2 highest secondaries are generally versatility, and then depending on what spec you're playing, either crit or mastery, and I don't think any of the 3 specs really value haste. So yes, I just wanted to get that little bit of information in there. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it informative, and if you did, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons below and give it a big old thumbs up. Cheers, guys.